So this is a soft sequel to my first ever YouTube video entitled I scream, keyword I scream about nothing for 11 minutes. So maybe I'll make this 11. I tried to do another take. God damn it. I I'm too old to be burping on camera. I don't know. I don't know if I have acid reflux. That's not a gag that I do intentionally, but I can burp the alphabet. Would you like to see me burp the alphabet? Eh. I'm not gonna actually do that. That being said, uh, I'm making the content that I've been consuming lately, or that I would like to see on YouTube, in my For You page, etc., in my viewing inbox, whatever. Um, I've been consuming a lot of not so much self-help content, but like lo-fi, self-help adjacent. But if you go too far, it tends to like be weirdly schizophrenic, schizo-pilled for lack of a better term, leaning into like either side of the left-right manosphere gender war. So you have to be very careful when you consume that. And even saying like schizo-pilled, for lack of a better term, is not only a little bit disrespectful, but it's also something that can be off-putting for other people on the internet, because like the internet is becoming an insular place where I noticed today somebody was like on my like inbox, it was like uh the internet, is it going to be cool to be offline now? And I don't innately think that, but I think people who are chronically online and consume chronically online content radiate a certain energy. Like where I clicked on somebody who like occasionally their TikToks like, come across like my For You page. I don't like really consume their content on a regular basis. And this isn't an attack or anything like that. And like the first two things they were like, is this based? Is this cringe? And it's like, get the fuck away from me. Not in an innately disrespectful way, but there's a certain chronically online language. And I am chronically online. I have been since I was a small child. But in that chronically onlineness, like I have a digital boundary where I'm like, if it crosses into this threshold or territory, I'm just not gonna rock with it. Um, and that means that I have grown a lot since that first YouTube video. In that first YouTube video, I'm very slow. I don't really know what to say. I don't know how to say it. And I would say that I've grown. I've matured a lot over the past 6 years, and I've become more confident as well as eloquent in my speech. With all that being said, though, I think circling back to some of those topics, I do think a lot of those things are still of value and of merit. I think what's really interesting is that I know in that original video, which I watched today, I'd mentioned simping. So since we were just talking about the manosphere, and all of that, I think what's really interesting about that group or that world of the manosphere, alt-right men core, let's hear it for the men type content, where it's like, men, here's how to get laid in 10 steps. Here's how to get fucking rich, baby. Men, right? That type of stuff. A lot of it comes off as like there's two sides to like that coin, where it's like dudes who pretend like they hate women, but actually would fold like in a second, and dudes who are jaded incels who like actually probably hate women. And that's not to say that like that is the only person who makes that content, but that's how that content ends up. And one side is like how to grind your way out of it, and the other side is like, oh, everything's hopeless, I'm never gonna get laid, please take me out back type stuff. And with that, I think those two dichotomies of masculinity are very interesting, because going back to something like the Salem witch trials, in which like women were tried for witchcraft, which was literally just like the act of being seduced, right? Like dudes were like the witch trials themselves, and if you look at like the crimes and the trials and what people were on trial for, not only were they superfluous and nefarious, no, they were just superfluous, they weren't nefarious because they weren't wrong, right? But it's like dudes getting mad that they folded over women. And that's not to say, oh, I would never fold over a woman, right? Like I'm attracted to women. But I also think, without sounding like a pick me, you know, some people gotta learn how to coexist with the opposite gender. That's all I'm saying, because motherfuckers just be arguing, and that war is tiring. Um, with that though, it's another type of content that I usually consume. I don't know. I don't know what to say. What do I do today? What am I into? I'm into carousels right now. I'm very into like early, not Victorian, I guess Edwardian, or turn of the century 100-year-old carousels. You know, stuff that is 100 years old, because it's just fascinating to me. But I find that Baroque bespokeness to be very beautiful, to be very ornate, and to be something that I feel is missing in our contemporary life. I feel like one of the greater issues with the culture of America, not to be a I hate America type person, but I feel like a lot of our culture is very new, right? America was only really developed past the 1950s, past the invention of the air conditioning. And if you don't live in like New England, you'd be very hard pressed to find anything that's maybe older than 1940s, 1930ish, right? So you have to keep that in mind. And I don't know what else have I been into. I've been into books. I mean, yeah, reading. I in that original first YouTube video, I was like, I want to go to Barney's and Noble's, or no, I said Bray's and Nobelis. Um, like I couldn't even get the damn joke right. Um, and read all the books, and I do read more consistently now. And I think with reading more consistently now, I feel like I understand myself better, the world better. And I saw on Twitter the other day where this dude was like, if you read fucking fiction books, you're fucking stupid. That's a waste of time. And it's like, oh, you poor sweet summer child. Like, you can read all the self-help books you can, but you're not gonna help yourself unless you look inward, right? Motherfuckers will read 20 self-help books but still be a piece of shit, because the only books that they're reading are on manipulation, seduction, and how to get rich in 2 seconds. And with those get rich quick books, it's like they just expect a cheat code where it's like you have to sacrifice a small Victorian child on the right Wednesday under the third umber moon or whatever. And it's like, no, look inward and change your perspective, and a lot of inward help, right? But that self-help and that mindset and those beliefs and those ideas, when they come to a certain point of abstraction outside of just the standard baseline text reading, it can be hard to communicate, right? I think there is a certain need for abstraction if you want to have a conversation that's truly about like self-help and self-betterment, because that comes from your own frame of reference, your own frame of view. Like, originally I had filmed this video and it was before I took my nap. I like to take a good nap during the day, refresh myself, etc. Like we did when we were kids. I hate that I do that voice. I don't know why I do that voice. That's my ironic voice, right? When I say, this is ironic, don't take me seriously. That's what I'm doing. But I like to take a nap during the day, just to refresh my mind, all of that. Sometimes your meat computer needs a little reboot. And after my nap, I feel much more confident. My ideas are flowing more eloquently, and I feel as though I'm speaking in a direction that doesn't feel self-loathing, or, coming from a place of lack, or coming from a place of, here's all these things that are going wrong with me. Here's 5 things that I'm struggling with, and now I'm gonna kind of tangentially find a way to complain about that. And that's not a bad thing, but that's not the style of content that I want to make. And it's not me saying that, like, the value that I want to bring, is what I'm saying, is not negative. And it's not, nor do I want to make self-help content. Absolutely not. I'm just doing this casually because I was like, damn, I watch YouTube, and I've watched YouTube since I was a kid. And in watching YouTube, like, I've noticed the tides and the changes and the trends in the cultural zeitgeist of YouTube have changed. And honestly, I was working on another video, but I was like, damn, I really don't feel like working on like another like 2 to 5 page video. The college ruled wide space. I said both rules. I didn't even pick one for that damn joke. I don't want to make this like long-winded video that is mildly formalistic, and this isn't me complaining about like what I have to do or anything like that. But YouTube is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it can be deeply rewarding, deeply gratifying, and deeply satisfying work. But like dropping a college term paper tier essay every month does take a lot of effort, right? But on top of, coming out with high quality content does take a lot of effort. And I want to make something a little bit more laid back, a little throwback joint back in the day, old school YouTube, right? But I don't know. I ended up on like that weird segment of YouTube that is like cigarette shamanism. This Russian girl, this random Russian woman was like, men, everything is boring. Stop watching porn. It was just interesting to listen to somebody's take on that so candidly. And she's like, you watch the movie, 5 women on screen, it's a virtual pussy. And I mean, like, yeah, people are looking for answers to questions that are somewhat internal as well as mildly social without realizing that things are bigger. I don't know. That was like way too. This was supposed to be a casual video. Now I'm talking about the gender war. So let me cut this video off. But I need a break for ads. So let me break for ads, and then we'll come back, and then we'll talk about the gender war.
Guess what? Roommates are special. And these women aren't lesbians. They're roommates, and they share their most private secrets with one another. And for a small fee and a 12-minute minimum, they'll share those intimate secrets with you. Dial the number you see on screen. They don't want to be there, neither do you. But for the right fee, you can all pretend this is some kind of form of intimacy. Roommates.
気持ちが強すぎて離れているとこんなに大切に思えるのに近づくとまるで磁石のように二人反発し合うよスリルが溢れる街で分けしてなかったけれど抱きしめていて凍えそうな手で求め合うほどに傷つけ合う
So 2 things. One, I'm adding this because I feel like this video is not long enough. I think the standard for YouTube videos is ludicrous and absurd. Y'all are actually making entry-level documentarial work. Like after a certain point, these aren't even short films. Like these are like literally like Chantel Akerman's first works were not even as conceptual as these YouTube videos are. Like you are putting in more work than actual like award-winning filmmakers. It's fucking crazy. 2, in regards to like cigarette shamanism and all of that, I think that's a very interesting world. I think it's a world that we don't take seriously. Not that those people need to be taken seriously, but also we don't respect that type of person because they are contemporarily or usually on the fringes of society, so we usually treat them like a basket case. But also a lot of those videos are like, one video away from the sorcerer has cursed me once again. Understand those people are having mental episodes, etc., etc. But it's also like, if you like get into that, right, and versus an Alex Jones or like whoever, a motherfucker with the microphone epidemic, as I like to say, The only difference is how they're being presented and how they're presenting that information to the world. I'm no different than any other YouTuber or any other creator, artist, whatever the fuck, right? So why should you take me seriously? I don't know. I can't really tell you that. That's a choice you have to make. But I also think that, like, cigarette shamanism, as I like to call it, is also so different than like video essay culture, because video essay culture has the requirement and the stipulation of being backed by like a college thesis. Like, you have to back up your stuff with facts, etc., etc. So it makes that different, but that also makes everything feel far more formalistic than just like some dude in like bumblefuck Missoula, Montana, ripping like a Cool or Newport, you know, as he explains how he feels about like structural society and certain things like that. It is deeply refreshing in how candid it is. What else? In that original YouTube video, I was like, I can look like Lightning, I can look like Terra. Ironically, I do look like Lightning now. So I guess goals, manifest, do whatever you want. And then I talk about reading all the books, and I've been reading a ton of books lately. And what sucks is that like the message is the medium, as I've said before. The medium's the message, right? The medium dictates the message. Sometimes in what I want to make and like the things I want to say, I'm not saying they are adjacent to cigarette shamanism, but like in writing, I know how to. I like writing that cracks me like a glow stick, and I want to make works that crack other people like glow sticks. Like, I read Clarice Lispector's Hour of the Star the other day. Beautiful work. Very moved. You know, I felt that in my soul, right? Like, I want to make work that like grabs you by your soul. But that's not something that everybody wants to do, and that also sounds very threatening and sensual at the same time. But I am like trying to grab people by their soul. As in the kindest, as like I'll hold your hand and we can go to where the sidewalk ends type deal. But even that sounds threatening and sensual and weird, and I can't really say that. But I like that kind of work. I think that really speaks to me, and I find that work very moving and very poetic. And I don't know. Do I want to make something silly and goofy? Hell yeah. Do I want to make a Parasite Eve video? Hell yeah. It will come in due time. But let's go to the filmed end of the video. I don't want to bloat this video too much. I like that I made a video without a topic. It's fun. It's fun to write something without a topic. But also, I don't know. I'm trying to build a brand. I need an agent. I need to get more views. I need to get everything in line, all my ducks in a row, bro. Like, I'm trying to do it big, right? I'm trying to make meaningful impacts on the world around me. But also make music and, you know, direct. I don't know. But I have outright stated what I wanted, so hopefully I get it from the universe. Anyways, back to the rest of the video. But yeah, cigarette shamanism YouTube is fucking weird, bro. It really is. But it's a fun little rabbit hole to go down, like, legitimately. But again, some people are too chronically online. But most people are online because there's more online than there is in their day-to-day life. But I'm not going to get into that can of worms here. Yeah. How you doing? You doing good? The kids doing good? It's still, the ad break's not over. It's not over. Give it another 3 to 5 minutes. I'm thinking of something to say next, actually. Because this is meant to be an unscripted, candid video. It's an old school throwback video. It's like those videos that a popular YouTuber, I won't name because I'm trying not to name drop people, used to make during their heyday, as well as popular YouTuber B and popular YouTuber C. It's a very casual vlog like content. We're kicking it old school like Jamie Kennedy. But yeah, I don't know. I saw NBA YoungBoy dropped a vlog the other day. Truly, the tides in culture and pop culture are changing. I think video essays are their own thing. But I also think, like, I'm tired of discourse. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But I also think in the need of creating content and putting something out into the world, it's easier to have these knee-jerk reactions that are a little bit sensational. I've been sensational, right? And this isn't to say I'm better than you. No, I'm human. I'm flawed. I make mistakes just like you. But I also try to self-reflect and grow from said mistakes and shortcomings and pitfalls, and I hope you do too. But to say that I've noticed that in my own content that is not what I prefer, and that's nor the direction that I would like to be going, going forward. And that being said, Happy New Year, New Year, new me. Let's get into it, baby. No, it's New Year, same old mistakes. In the word of Tame Impala, actually, I've grown a lot this year. I've matured a lot over the past 5 to 6 years. I'm on a path of self betterment. During that time of making that first YouTube video, I was in a very long relationship, almost 7 to 8 years. And I think being in a relationship, you lose a part of yourself, but you also become a new you in the transformation that happens post breakup, etc. But there's a lot of growth and there's a rediscovery of oneself, right? And I think that's what I've been doing and moving into a better version of myself. I don't know. Do I want to date? Kinda. But I don't know. The way dating and like a lot of the conversations around that scare me. But I also know that I'm more famous than I used to be. And that's not to say I'm famous or the most famous person in the world. Absolutely not. But I also know that being in a long relationship and being and coming from a long relationship, I view dating and relationship and intimacy. Why the fuck do I burp so goddamn much? If you are a doctor, can you like legitimate? Why? I'm not gross. I promise. I just burp. But I think burps are funnier than farts, so I just let it happen on camera. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I don't know. Dating, a lot of people treat dating and relationships and people as a little bit disposable, but I also think that like I've had the luckiness to have had a close, intimate relationship bonded over several years with somebody, which is not something that everybody has had. Like nobody's really had a multi-year, nobody. Not everybody has had a multi-year relationship. So I think my hesitation to rejoin the dating pool also with a newfound certain level of celebrity is different, you know. But even that seems a certain level of self-aggrandizing, especially because my most amount of followers platform. The platform that I have the most followers on is TikTok. Why the fuck I talk like Yoda sometimes is beyond me. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't know. Um, that being said, I would prefer to be on like Raya, but that's also because like before I started redating my like ex, this is a little bit of vulnerability and lore here, kids. Um, Before I started redating my ex, like I was on Tinder during like my come up years. Where I really started to gain my platform and like I was recognized on dating apps. And I don't know. I would like a certain level of privacy, but I also think you know, being a celebrity or a person that's in the public eye, your relationship to social media, the camera, um, and the dynamics of social media, the conversations had within change. And I think being able to have that kindred connection with somebody, I understand why celebrities date on other celebrities, is what I'm saying. Um, I don't know. I'm yapping. I'm rambling. This is 19 minutes, and I have to cut it already. This was meant to be an easy, get it out same day type video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. I'm as always greatly appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this sequel to my first YouTube video, Bone Anniversaire. This was originally meant to be a clip show when I calendared it last year, but I felt a clip show was a little bit too self-indulgent because who the fuck is gonna watch if you saw a clip show of somebody's YouTube channel on your homepage, as camp and as a throwback to like old TV as that might be, that seems really self indulgent. And I have to add value to you. I have to give you value, viewer. So thank you for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. I'm as always greatly appreciated. Have a nice one. Bye.